Potatoes, the humble root with global drama. Think potatoes are boring? You're about to find out they've got more drama than your last relationship. Let's talk about potatoes, because no other food has managed to be in everything, for everyone and everywhere, without ever developing a superiority complex. Potatoes are the Keanu Reeves of food, versatile, beloved, and somehow still humble. They show up to every meal like you need me to be a side dish, main course, booze. I got you. They're the background character that steals every scene. French fries aren't just food. They're emotional scaffolding. And mashed potatoes, they're a weighted blanket with gravy. But don't be fooled by the comfort food vibe. Potatoes have history, drama, international espionage, levels of cultural baggage. Before we go peeling this root vegetable's credentials, like the video and subscribe to the channel, because we serve comedy like we serve our spuds, golden hot, and likely smothered in a personal anecdote. Where did potatoes even come from? The Andes Mountains, 7,000 years ago. High altitude, low attitude starch, cultivated by the Incas who were like, we've built a calendar. A civilization, and also 3,000 kinds of potatoes. You're welcome. They used potatoes for everything, even to predict the weather. They'd watch how potatoes sprouted to forecast frost. Meanwhile, I can't predict whether I'll burn toast. The Incas invented chugo, a freeze-dried potato that could last decades. Potatoes were so central they were basically the iPhone of early civilization. Reliable, kind of addictive, and if you dropped one, your mom yelled at you. The Spanish brought potatoes back to Europe and people freaked out. Europe looked at potatoes and said, demonic dirtball. In France, peasants thought potatoes caused disease. They looked at this dusty orb and called it Satan's root ball. So the government asked, how do we make people like this? Enter Parmentier, a pharmacist with a flair for drama. He threw a potato dinner party for King Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, Benjamin Franklin, basically the Met Gala of tubers. It worked. Potatoes went from criminal to couture. Let's take a world tour of potato weirdness. Because apparently if you leave humans alone with root vegetables long enough, we start doing strange things. Bolivia, chugo, the freeze-dried foot-stomped potato. In Bolivia, they still make chugo. Remember that freeze-dried potato? It's not just dried. It's frozen outside, stomped by foot, then dried in the sun. That's not cooking. That's potato hazing. It lasts for decades. You don't eat chugo, you inherit it. Ireland, national identity and a root. In Ireland, potatoes were everything. The economy, the diet, the punchline. Then came the famine, and suddenly a country built on tubers had nothing but grief and boiled sorrow. And when the British sent food aid, it was like, here's some rice in judgment. Potatoes weren't just food. They were the plot of an entire nation's trauma musical. France, Parmentier and the potato hype machine. We already talked about Parmentier's dinner party. But here's the kicker. He also planted fields of potatoes and posted armed guards during the day. So people thought it was high value. Then he told the guards to accidentally leave the fields unattended at night. So peasants would steal the potatoes and start growing them. This man staged a reverse heist to create a trend. He invented the hype drop in 1770. Japan, the haunted sweet potato truck. In Japan, sweet potatoes are sold from trucks that drive around neighborhoods, playing soft, eerie flute music. It's like an ice cream truck. But instead of joy, it sounds like someone's grandma got stuck in a rice paper wall. You're not even hungry. But the truck rolls up at dusk and you're like, do I want a hot roasted root? Or is this an exorcism? Russia, rent is due in potatoes. In Russia during lean times, people used potatoes as currency, not metaphorically. You could pay actual rent in sacks of spuds. Imagine going to your landlord like, here's your £2. And if I'm late next month, I'll throw in some cabbage. North Korea, revolutionary starch. And then there's North Korea, where the government ran a full-blown campaign called Let's Eat Potatoes Instead of Rice. They rolled out posters, TV ads, the whole state-backed starch glam-up. They called it the patriotic tuber. Imagine being at a dinner party and someone says this potato represents the spirit of the people. Okay, Den is just past the salt. Therapy is expensive. Latvian stuffed potato pancakes are crunchy, warm emotional support. The Slavic equivalent of a therapy session wrapped in crunch. Ingredients for pancakes: 3 large russet potatoes, grated like your ancestors are watching. 1 small onion, grated for depth in 1 single tear. Couple of eggs, the binding glue of all good decisions. 3 tablespoons flour, not enough to call it baking, just enough to pretend you measured. Salt and pepper. Ingredients for filling: 1/2 pound ground pork or beef. Pick your drama. 1 onion, chopped. It's Eastern Europe. You knew this was coming. 1 garlic clove. Flavor plus anti-vampire insurance. Salt, pepper, paprika, season with intuition and mild suspicion. Optional, dill or caraway. Adds cultural gravitas. Frying oil. Directions: sauté meat with onion, garlic, and seasoning until it smells like someone's grandma just judged your life choices. Drain your grated potatoes, squeeze until your arms hurt, and your ex calls just to check on you. Mix the batter, potatoes, onion, eggs, flour, until it feels like a plan. Form and stuff. Take a scoop, flatten, add meat, seal it like you're burying secrets. Fry until golden. You want crisp like a November walk and a little soft in the center, like you on a Tuesday. Serve hot with sour cream, maybe mustard, and the satisfaction of culinary revenge. So yeah, potatoes, they've been sacred, stomped, smuggled, politicized, preserved, and pan-fried across 6 continents and several empires. They've been rent payments, haunted snack trucks, and tools of weather prediction. And through all of that, they've never once asked for credit. They don't need a trend. They are the moment. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. And next time someone calls potatoes boring, just say, "You clearly don't know Chugo."